Hello everyone. I hope all of you are doing well, and today we will continue our series of previous year's questions of UPSC CSE, the geography discipline. Let's read the question. Westerlies in the southern hemisphere are stronger and persistent than in northern hemisphere. Why? Let's take yes. Westerlies in southern hemisphere are stronger and persistent than in the northern hemisphere. Why? Statement first. Southern hemisphere has less land mass as compared to the northern hemisphere. The Coriolis force is higher in southern hemisphere as compared to the northern hemisphere. So this is the question and we have to find the correct statements. Let's have a piece of information, a body of knowledge which can help us to solve this question. Westerlies in southern hemisphere are stronger and persistent than in the northern hemisphere because southern hemisphere has less land mass as compared to the northern hemisphere. So yes, this statement is right which is given in our question. When we see a world map, we will find that the northern hemisphere has a lot of land mass, while the southern hemisphere have very less land mass in comparison of the northern. And because there is less land, lesser friction will be provided by the land surface to the air, to the winds, and they will flow over the wide open ocean, which will facilitate their higher speed. They will be more stronger. And then we will move to the second statement, which is talking about the Coriolis force. Because the earth rotates on its axis, circulating air deflected towards the right in northern hemisphere and left in southern hemisphere. This deflection is the Coriolis force or the Coriolis effect. But there is no such thing that Coriolis force will be stronger or weaker in any hemisphere. It is equally distributed. Because its origin is like earth is rotating. It's not earth is rotating less or rotating more in any hemisphere. It's a whole earth. So there is no such thing that less Coriolis and higher Coriolis in any of the hemispheres. Okay. So by this piece of information, we will back to the question and we will find that our statement 1 is right. That yes, lesser landmass in the southern hemisphere, the reason behind the persistent and the stronger westerlies. And Coriolis force is equally distributed in the both hemisphere. There is no such thing that it is higher or lesser in any hemisphere. The statement 2 is wrong. Answer is A. Only the statement 1 is right. That's all. Let's remove all this. Yes. The next question, it will be like this. Yes. If a tropical rainforest is removed, it does not generate quickly as compared to a tropical deciduous forest. And we have to find out the reason. The 4 reasons are given. The soil is deficient in nutrients. The trees in the rainforest are poor viability. The rainforest species very slow growing, or the exotic species invade the fertile soil of the rainforest. Let's try to read a piece of knowledge or a body of knowledge, then we will reach the answer. Yes, tropical rainforest. The tropical soils rapidly inhospitable to growth, resistant to growth. Why? Swift leaching of nutrients by the heavy rains. We know that the tropical rainforest witness a very heavy rain and intense sunlight is also there. And because of the heavy rain, all the nutrients which are available in the soil, they leach. Leaching take place. And because of this, when the trees are cut down, there is intense sunlight. And because of this intense sunlight and leaching of nutrients, the regrowth is not possible. In addition, we can say that the tropical hardwood like mahogany, ebony, the trees which grow in the tropical rainforest, they are dependent on the certain animal species for pollination, seed dispersal, seed processing, and the seed of many tropical rainforest species are very large. Since they germinate in the shade of canopy, must have enough food reserve to grow in the low light condition. It means there are many seeds which require the shade of other larger trees. In the absence of the shade, they will not grow. And they also require the animal for the dispersal. If you cut down the forest, there will be no animal, there will be no larger trees, there will be no shade. Then how all these seeds will grow? The loss of dispersal species when forest is level means seeds are unlikely to be dispersed. Okay? So cutting the trees or cutting the forest is not a viable option. Despite the amount of vegetation in the rainforest, the soil contains less organic matter. It means the rainforest have a less organic matter than the temperate forest. Why? Because there is a faster decaying at a very higher speed because of a higher temperature conditions and higher humidity. And that organic matter decays so early that all the matter which is in the organic matter, all the things which are in this organic matter, they are not utilized by the trees. The next is the soil in the rainforest is highly acidic. You know the root of the plants rely on acidity difference between the roots and the soils in order to absorb the nutrients. It means if a plant wants to absorb the nutrients, then there should be the difference in the acidity. When the soil is very acidic, there is a little difference, a little absorption of nutrients. Ultimately, we can say because of the higher acidity of the soil, the roots of the plants are not capable to absorb the nutrients of the soil such a great extent. The type of clay which is present in the tropical rainforest has poor ability to trap nutrients, not able to trap the nutrients to use them for their growth. And it cannot bind the nutrients, and these nutrients wash away with rain. Even if humans artificially, if the human beings, they artificially add nutrients like the sulfur, the phosphorus, the urea fertilizers, if we add, then they will be washed away because there is so much heavy rain and it will not be absorbed by the plants. Okay, the higher temperature and the moisture of tropical rainforest cause dead organic matter in the soil decompose more quickly than others. We have done this information earlier also. High volume of rain in tropical forest washes the nutrients. We also done with that. When farmer cut down the tropical rainforest, okay, and they try to grow another crop, they find little success because the poor nature of the soil. So it's mean it's a big toll if rainforests are cut down. Earlier, these rainforests were working as a carbon sink. They were absorbing carbon dioxide, giving the oxygen to the people, to the environment. But if they are cut down, no possibility of the regeneration of the forest because of the poor quality of the soil. It will be a big loss to the environment. So the tropical rainforest should not be cut down. This is the lesson from this piece of knowledge. Now the next question is this: if the soil is so poor then how such large trees are grown? How such an array of shrubs present there? The answer is above the soil. Because above the soil there is a thick layer of quickly decaying plants and animals. So much of humus, so much of organic content. And this organic, when there is rain, this organic content reaches to the roots of the plants, the roots of the trees, but it do not penetrate much into the soil. So it will not be in the soil for a longer time, but yes, it will be available to the trees. So the source of the nutrient is not the soil in itself, it's the organic matter, the huge amount of organic matter which is present there. And why so much huge amount of organic matter? High temperature and the high moisture, humidity, which lead to the speedier decaying of the matter. That's all. So from this, all this we get to know that when rainforests are cut down, they do not regenerate quickly. Why? The reason is the soil of the rainforest is deficient in the nutrients. That's all. We are done with this question. Now the next question is, yes, this is our next question. What could be the main reason for the formation of African and the Eurasian desert belt? It's mean why in Africa and Eurasia there are deserts. Reason of the desert formation is have been asked in this question. Yes. Statement 1 is saying it is located in the subtropical higher pressure cell. You know high pressure area? High pressure is an area where air will not rise, there will not be the cloud formation, there will be no condensation of water vapors, there will be no rain. So it denotes an area, high pressure cells denote an area where there will be no rain. And when we say a low pressure cell means air will rise, there will be the cloud formation, the condensation of water vapor, and there will be rain. This is a difference between a higher pressure and a lower pressure cell. Statement 1 is saying that this area in Africa, the Eurasia, this desert area, this desert belt located in the subtropical higher pressure cell. The first statement is about this. Second statement, it is under the influence of warm ocean currents. Okay, it is saying that because warm ocean currents are flowing nearby these African and Eurasian desert belt or African or Eurasian area, near this area, and because of these there is a desert belt. Our second statement is wrong. You know why? Because it's not the warm ocean current, it's the cold ocean currents which have desiccating effect. Desiccating effect means that there will be a drought like situation. Because whenever a cold current will pass through, all the moisture, humidity which is present in the air will be freezed down. There will be no condensation of water vapors. Higher temperature will favor. If a warm ocean current is flowing through an area, then all the moisture, all the humidity which is present in the atmosphere, it will lead to a kind of condensation conditions and there will be the rain like situation. But the desert belt form because of the cold ocean currents. Cold ocean current leads to desiccating effects. Okay, so our statement 2 is wrong by this. Yes, and our statement 1 is okay. That yes, the higher pressure cells are available. Higher pressure cell we also known as the horseshoe latitude. Read from there. Hot deserts lie along the horse latitude or subtropical higher pressure belt where the air is descending. You know that at horse latitude air will descend, and when the air will descend there will be no rainfall, and it creates a condition which is less favorable for the precipitation. The rain bearing trade wind blow offshore and westerlies that are onshore blow outside of the desert limits. It means all the trade winds, all the rain bearing winds, they will blow offshore. They will not pass through this area, the desert area, and it will not cause rainfall there. Whatever wind reaches, it will have a lower moisture because it will pass through the colder area, and the relative humidity will be lower, and condensation will become almost impossible. So this is our answer. Another is, there is scarcely any cloud in continuous blue sky. Relative humidity is very low. Initially, the humidity which was 60% in the coastal areas, when it will go inside the desert area, the humidity will only be 30%. Okay, on the western coast, there are the cold currents. Okay, and what these cold current do? Little rainfall, because they have chilling on the oncoming air. The desiccating effect, the drought kind of effect of the cold Peruvian current. There is Chilean coast pronounced that mean annual rainfall for the Atacama Desert is not more than 1.3 centimeter. Such a chilling effect, such a drought-like situation caused by the cold Peruvian current in the Atacama Desert. So, our answer will be the situation. Only the option 1 is correct. Answer is A. Formation of African and the Eurasian desert belt, that subtropical higher pressure cell facilitate the development of the deserts due to the formation of anticyclonic condition. Cyclonic condition will cause rainfall, and anticyclonic condition will cause a drought-like situation. Okay, tropical deserts are influenced by the cold currents. Deserts are formed because of the cold currents. Cold currents are passing the nearby area. Okay, it will not lead to the condensation. And we can witness the cold currents here. This is our Peru current. This blue in the cold current. This is our Benguela current. This is Canary current. And all these are on the western side of the continent. Lead to the desiccating effect. Drought-like situation will create there. Desert belt will form. So this is all. So today we have solved the 3 questions. I hope you get it, guys. Thank you. Have a nice time.